Rule number 2 is we're gonna have fun tonight. That's a rule. So, what is a job? Anyone know? Anyone feel like guessing? Yeah.
Something you don't want to do.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Something you do to make money.
Whoa. That's a lot of hours for such a bleak definition. Right? Yeah. So you're describing the current state of the world. Because we don't have these proper resources to help us figure out our path, we are landing in roles that are not a fit for us. So disengaged means we're checked out, we're sleepwalking through our workday, we're putting in time but not energy or passion. You have to keep going, you gotta trust the process, and you gotta just come back to these mental tools when you're feeling down, when you're feeling stressed, when you feel like you wanna take the easier way out. But let's see how we can make sense of what you just put on the paper. And so what are we doing naturally? We're job hopping, of course, the natural solution. Job hopping is a Band-Aid solution. It is not a long-term strategy. That's why being in an environment and in a role that you actually somewhat enjoy, at least to begin with, is gonna just have those dividends later on. Before you tell yourself that you can't, why don't we learn about what the path entails? Let's allow ourselves the opportunity to figure out what we want before we can figure out if we can get it, or if we know how to do it, or if we can do it. And so your goals are gonna change. And so rather than thinking about what job you want in 30 years, think about what job you want today. And then that will evolve with time. Again, remember, it'll lead you to the next and the next and the next, and you pave your path that way. And we have to keep trying. You know, the fact is sometimes you're gonna try and experience and it might not be right. This isn't always going to be perfect. Like, you know, all these things, as you're learning, you're observing and you're reflecting. Just because you're learning about a certain path doesn't mean you have to stay on it. This is why we're taking the threat away, because we're not applying. We're exploring. I wanted to learn what this thing was about. I knew I didn't want to be doing what I was doing, so I tried. I did something different. Now we dance. First and foremost, you have to remember this exploration has to come before the job search. The goal is make time. You can make time. Okay, you have to make a little bit of time if you want to figure it out. Thing of how you want to contribute back to the world and the role that you really will love, but you just haven't found it yet. See what's out there. What companies, what are people saying? Okay, so not the job search engine, the research, okay? Then we have to network, and I know everybody hates that, but what I'm here to tell you is networking is literally just learning. Really just asking professionals what they do. And as you do the calls, you're learning. You're asking them questions. You're saying, what do you do? What is it like? What's good? What's bad? You're getting the color. And when you have 20 or 30 of these calls, then you can paint the picture. And this is how we figure out what these jobs are actually like. Have a phone call. 30 minutes on the phone, you can get as much as you need to. In fact, coaching often happens on the phone. There's really powerful things that can happen on the phone. And at these events, you're not just meeting people, but what is the room like? What are they talking about? What is the vibe? Who are these people like? If you go show up to an event and you just don't like it, that's not your room. Where are your people? And if you're working, you can be doing volunteering on the side. I used to do a volunteer at a nonprofit doing career coaching for many hours over the years. And hello, okay, so, right? I just volunteered because I liked it. That was a hobby. Hobbies sometimes turn into careers.